What is up, guys? Silver Warrior here. Today, I'm going to be talking about whether or not Silver Shot is a good investment. And the reason I'm making this video is because I actually had someone ask me my thoughts on Silver Shot, as well as a few people commenting on my most recent successful video, the top 5 things not to buy when silver stacking, that I should have put Silver Shot on the list. And you know what? I can see why people are saying that, but the things on the list in that video were just completely just useless. Silver Shot does have its purpose. It's just many people buy it for the wrong reason. So, with that being said, let's get right into this. Also, really quickly, I do want to say thank you very much to all the people who have viewed my new video, or that video I was talking about. It has like 6.5 thousand or something like that, or close to that, somewhere around there. And I do want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed. I know some of you guys are new subscribers because of that video. And also, thank you so much for all the support on that. And with that, no more delaying, let's get right into this. So, Silver Shot as an investment itself is an absolutely terrible one in my eyes because there is simply no point to buying Silver Shot if you're not going to use it for its purpose. Yes, it does sometimes have a slightly lower premium than something like generic silver bullion, but at the same time, there's a reason for this, and it's because it's extraordinarily undesirable. You see, there's actually really, nobody is going to buy it except for someone who is looking to pour silver. Okay, so like let's say if you're investing in it because you want to protect your wealth or whatever. I can understand because it is, like I said, around the same cause as generic bullion. So you're like, well, it's a cheaper way to store my wealth. But if a situation were to arise where silver prices were to explode, do you think anyone's going to be buying Silver Shot? I can guarantee you, no, they're not. Because who is going to want to buy something like that when it's so much easier to just buy a bar that has a standard weight to it and is guaranteed to be an exact weight, as opposed to a bunch of Silver Shot? Because, mind you, people are going to want to buy a decent amount of silver, and people aren't going to want a bunch of Silver Shot just laying around because it's a very unattractive looking thing. It's the same thing as silver war nickels, okay? They have sometimes more silver, and you're going to get them cheaper than something like 90% silver, but they're simply so undesirable that it becomes not worth it when you really look at it as an investment. And it's the same thing with Silver Shot. Yeah, it might be slightly cheaper, but it's just simply undesirable, and you're always going to sell it slightly cheaper as well. And if silver prices were to shoot up, let's say, you'd probably see it selling for under melt as opposed to generic bars, which still sell for around melt. So my point is that simply as an investment and a way to store wealth, it's just so undesirable that it really is a bad investment. However, if you do buy it for its purpose of pouring silver, then it's a great investment because, for one, since it is a Silver Shot is a bunch of little pieces of pure silver, you can put it into a specific shape already, and it won't be the exact shape of whatever you put it in, but it relatively so, because it'll fill up space much nicer than, let's say, a bunch of sterling silver spoons. And also, sterling silver is just that, not 92.5% silver. So therefore, when you go to melt it, you have to spend more on the fuel because you're going to be melting it longer to take out the non-silver metals. You'll have to extract those from it to get pure silver, so it'll take a little bit longer than with Silver Shot when you already have pure silver, and you can just melt it down to whatever shape you want, and it'll be relatively quick. Of course, the big allure with sterling silver is that a lot of times you can find people who don't really know what they have, and you can get it really cheap, and I understand that as well. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, to get back to this, yeah, that's basically, the big thing, the big allure with Silver Shot is just for pouring silver, which for that purpose, it is really good. The only other thing, I thought about this for a little while, and the only other thing I can really think of that Silver Shot might be good for is as fractional silver for an economic collapse. So, like, let's say someone, you're going to buy something, they want 0.3 ounces of silver. Obviously, if you only have, ounces and above, no one's going to give you change back. They're going to be like, well, you're going to have to buy more, or you're just going to have to leave with that and give me more silver. No one's going to have change to give you back. That's not the way it's going to work. So, basically, you could use Silver Shot as fractional silver, but it'd be really inconvenient because you have to bring around a scale with you, and weigh it out unless you already had it like in pre-weighed amounts, which like you already had like 0.1 ounce amounts or something like that, which would also be very inconvenient because then you'd have to have a bunch of bags to separate it, which plastic bags or whatever you're using could be used for something much more important than separating little bits of silver from each other. Plus, the weights aren't going to be exact, and people aren't going to necessarily recognize that it is silver. They might think you're trying to rip them off, as opposed to something even like this. I mean, yeah, it's 10 grams silver bars. Fractional silver is a really bad investment usually, but sometimes if you find the right people, you can get these relatively cheap, which is what I did, and I could break these apart and use them, because I got it for the price as if I was buying a 100-gram bar, even though it actually is 10-gram silver bars. So I did get a really good deal on that, which you're not going to usually find, but it's whatever. But anyway, yeah, that's the only purpose I can really think of it for, obviously, because you're not going to want to pour your own silver in an economic collapse, because that would be way too extravagant and useless and such a big waste of fuel. So overall, as an investment, yeah, silver shot is absolutely terrible. But if you use it for only its own purpose, then it's not a bad investment at all. With that, hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to warn you guys, we do have some unboxing videos coming up soon. I don't have my packages yet, but they should be coming relatively soon. So, you guys are going to have to deal with those. I know that, we might still be having PTSD from when all I did was unboxing videos, so don't worry, it's not going to be like that. You'll still be getting the regular videos as well. And I do hope you enjoyed this video. That is it for this one. Peace, love, much respect.